Mark Cuban has offered Trump $10 million to sit down and do an interview. Mano a mano. Billionaire, I think billionaire. All right, so this is the tweet, the official tweet from Mark Cuban. The graphic that says, $10 million to the charity of your choice if you let me interview you for 4 hours on your policies and their substance. The ground rules are this. You can't mention the Clintons or discuss anything other than the details or facts of your plans, and no one else in the room to help. And then this graphic, I'll add an option. If you need it, I'll write you a check and you can keep the money rather than give it to charity.
Damn.
So
Mark Cuban is badass.
That's a nice burn by Mark Cuban.
Look at him. That guy's that's the guy that Donald Trump pretends to be.
That's a great point.
Mark Cuban, he knows real business. I think I watched Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I just felt like if Mark Cuban, I wouldn't want a guy like Mark Cuban to run for president either and be about to win. But I wouldn't be afraid.
No.
He's like, in any way, and I would know Mark Cuban, this is I mean this legitimately I think, as opposed to things people say all the time. Mark Cuban would actually surround himself with some of the brightest people in the world. He'd go get them, and he'd be, I imagine
Carl Icahn.
he would.
He's the right kind of millionaire egotist. I have a team and a TV show, and I am good. Yeah. That's it. And he's kind of annoying on the sidelines with the Mavs. He wears affliction T-shirts, and it's kind of annoying. But he's a really sweet semen guy.
Right, that's right.
It's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, my
you say
biggest
sweet
complaint
semen?
about
Sweet semen.
I thought he said sweet
Sweet
semen.
semen guy. He's a sweet
That's
semen
gonna
guy.
ruin this video.
What's wrong with sweet semen guys?
Okay. All right. Now let me tell you what I know about Mark Cuban from public record, and a smidge that I know about having met him 2 times barely. Okay. So publicly, we all kind of like him because he's the kind of guy we think we would be. We'd buy a basketball team, right?
We'd still wear T-shirts.
Right.
Yeah, we'd yell at the refs.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he has a yacht with a basketball court on it. Okay. And one of the jobs that's really desirable for interns is to chase basketballs that fall in the ocean. Okay, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. On his yacht, because they get to meet all these people and they make connections. And I know it sounds unbearable. I know that. But if you got $6 billion, I don't know how you're going to spend it. Maybe you spend it that way.
I'd be willing to do that now.
Yeah.
Jimmy, could you do the show on Friday? No, I'm sorry. There's a basketball loose in the South China Sea.
It's got my name on it.
Did you tie a rope around you and you dive off the side?
Last thing you see from Jimmy is, Wilson! Wilson, I'm sorry! Okay. Anyway, and I believe, this is all from public record, is that he's a little bit more libertarian. So he's more conservative on economic issues. As a billionaire, you're not going to be overly surprised by that. He's much more socially liberal. So that's a strategy that actually could win in America, but probably if you got into the nitty-gritty, we'd really disagree with him on some of those economic principles, right? So I want to keep it real. Now, what I do know a tiny bit from knowing him is that Trump used to call Cuban fairly regularly. And so this is kind of interesting that they had, Cuban, when in the beginning, from what I saw on TV, was kind of it's an interesting curiosity, right? And then went to no, wait, this isn't fun anymore.
I mean, Cuban about Trump.
About Trump.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because in the beginning, yes, he was not overly critical of him, and in fact praised some things.
Yeah,
I have no idea of any. Sorry.
If you're a billionaire, that's you guys, other people who can identify with your problems. There's only 7 of them you can't call.
Yeah. And apparently Trump would call him in the middle of the night and be like, "Hey," and then talk to him what? Okay. So, but I don't know if anything happened behind the scenes between them. I have no idea. More likely is Cuban was he's like, this guy is going to be the leader of the free world? Is going to be the president? No, I have an obligation to speak out and say, no, don't go there. No matter how much I might want tax cuts, don't do that.
Well, because rich guys, they really rich people, and many of them are really rich because they have creative and through sort of bold moments of entrepreneurship made their money. Right, which is the American way. But what the smart ones see in the economy is is obstacles to growth and obstacles to getting things done, which they legitimately, like, we hire people. This gets people working. These are good jobs. And they'll roll their eyes and be like, and everybody just wants to get in the way of it. All these rules and regulations and do-gooders and tree huggers are keeping us from progress. And I don't want to do anything bad. I want to build a giant waterfront building, and I want to give 285 guys great paying jobs for 5 years, right? And that's where I think Mark Cuban is. But I imagine when the Congressional Budget Office says, oh, if you cut taxes this much, it'll nearly bankrupt us, he would recognize that as a flaw and would reassess, right? Whereas Trump doesn't care, knows better.
Well, that goes to the heart of this, and I think that's why Cuban's calling him out now. And that little, if you want to keep it, that's okay, is a great slap across the face, because Cuban is a self-made man. I mean, we know as liberals we discuss, nobody's just self-made. A lot of people helped him, yada, yada, and I would hope that he would acknowledge that, and probably very likely he would. But it's real, as opposed to Donald Trump, who got it from his daddy and has been bungling it ever since. Like, I've been forced to read Trump's entire history now, and I know the countless times that he'd go back to daddy and he'd say, Daddy, I screwed up another building, and his dad would have to give him a $3.5 million loan, or in one case, just went to Atlantic City and bought $3.5 million of chips and never played. So Trump got to keep it, which is totally illegal, by the way, and they had to pay a fine for it.
Say that story again, what?
Trump had screwed up his casinos again, and he needed $3.5 million. So his dad sent his lawyer to take $3.5 million of chips out of one of Trump's casinos and put it in his briefcase and drive home. So that's $3.5 million that Trump gets, and as if he lost it, right? As if he lost the $3.5 million, which you can't do. Yeah, that's like giving him an illegal loan of not a loan, a gift of $3.5 million.
Got me, give him the money. I'd eventually have lost it. 19, hit me.
So I know that Trump is an incompetent, and the 6 bankruptcies are the tip of the iceberg. He's never been able to run a business. So when other billionaires look at him, and they know he's not a billionaire, no billionaire runs a scam like Trump University, trying to take $5,000, $10,000 at a time from people who can't afford it. Mark Cuban's got billions of dollars. Why would he do that to people, right? So they look at him and they're like, oh, we thought we were having fun. You guys are taking him seriously. Are you insane? Don't go in that direction. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's totally incompetent.
I think that'd be a good sketch if someone went on Shark Tank pitching Trump University to Mark Cuban. And he just kind of is like, so you're going to do what? This is your business model? Sorry, I'm not buying.
Yeah, like you're going to have a cardboard cutout of yourself.
Yeah. Will you meet these people? Will these people you're saying you'll meet, will you meet them? No.